It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. May 24th, and the Dong Report is back in your life. I'm Matt Modi, and I have 3 home run predictions for you guys to lock in for today's MLB betting slate. So I'm just going to have the 3 home run picks for you guys, not going to have any strikeout props. I went through the entire board. Nothing really stuck out to me from a strikeout perspective, so I just decided to sit it out. It's not me saying that nobody's going to hit their strikeout props. Of course not. Just nothing really stuck out to me, so I didn't want to try and force a pick just for the sake of having content. So we're just going to have the 3 Dong picks today. Of course, before I can give you those, we got to do a recap from yesterday, which was another day that was good in one department, bad in the other. We did not get any of our 2 Dongs to mash, so we were 0-2, down 2 units there. And then, of course, on the whiff report, we got our 1 whiff play to cash, which was a plus money banger, which is nice. So we were 1-0 on our whiff report, up 1.1 units. So all in all, we were up like 0.1 units if you just include every MLB play yesterday. Not breaking the bank or anything like that, but it is always nice to have a day in the green. On the entire season, still pretty rough on the Dong report, down a little less than 17 units, which is obviously really, really bad. And then on our strikeout props specifically, not great there, down about 2 units after yesterday's win. Not great overall for the MLB, but it's a long season, and I'm confident that we're going to be able to turn this thing around. We did get 2 Dongs to mash on Wednesday, so hopefully we do the same thing today with Friday's picks. If you're not already, I would appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then for this specific video, like and comment. Let me know if there are home runs that you like for today that I did not mention, all that good stuff. I love reading in the comments. And then the last thing that I will mention before I get into the bangers is that I do have a Dub Club where I send all of my plays out for $5 a month. I will admit, the Dub Club gets you the same plays you see me give out for free on YouTube and on Twitter. I just send them out early. So if you don't want to watch the YouTube video, or by the time you do watch it, the odds change, that's when I kind of direct people to the Dub Club. As soon as I decide what a play is, the very first thing I do is send it out there. Unfortunately, by the time I record a YouTube video and edit it and post it, a lot of times the odds change, and there's really nothing I can do about that. So my way to combat that was to just come out with this Dub Club. Again, $5 a month gets everything sent to you. If you're interested, check that out. If not, no harm, no foul there. But I just wanted to give people the option. That's enough of that. Let's see if we can get donged today. Starting in the Orioles versus White Sox game, I'm going right back to Gunnar Henderson to hit a home run, plus 290 odds. This one is at FanDuel. So yesterday we went with Gunnar Henderson. He didn't come through for us. But really, the strategy with Gunnar is if you see him going up against a right-handed pitcher and a right-handed pitcher that stinks, you're going to want to bet on him. He's really, really good against right-handed pitching. And despite the fact that he didn't come through for us yesterday, he's come through for us plenty of times on the Dong Report. And I'm very confident going right back to him today. He just absolutely crushes right-handed pitching. And he's been crushing right-handed pitching all year. And he's been crushing right-handed pitching recently over the last 2 weeks as well. On the entire season, and I should say he's going up against a right-handed pitcher today, a very bad one in Chris Flexen of the White Sox. But on the entire season, he's hit 16 home runs. 12 of those 16 have come against right-handed pitching. On the entire season, he has an ISO rate, which stands for isolated power, of 31.3%. That's excellent. Anything 25% and above for ISO rate is considered excellent. 31.3%. That's excellent. His pull rate is also slightly higher against right-handed pitching as well, and his hard hit rate is like 10 percentage points higher against righties. He just smokes right-handed pitchers. If you look at the last 2 weeks, he's hit 5 home runs. Literally all 5 of them have come against right-handed pitching. All 5 of his 5 home runs. And in general, his numbers over the last 2 weeks are just incredible. ISO rate of 42.9%. That's obviously excellent. That's the 3rd best ISO rate over the last 2 weeks in the entire MLB. Barrel rate, which measures contact, how often you hit the barrel of the bat, his is at 13.9%. Not quite in the excellent category for barrel rate. 15% and above is excellent. His is at 13.9%. That's considered great. Good enough for what we are looking for. I will admit, if you're looking at all of Gunnar Henderson's home run, or his advanced stats, I should say, the one stat that doesn't quite line up with what we look for is fly ball rate. That's admittedly a little bit lower than what we look for. His home runs come off of line drives, not fly balls. That's kind of what that is. And his pull rate, which is a number that I do like to look at for home run hitters, because generally the best home run hitters pull the ball. That's kind of how that works. It's not 100%, of course, but generally that's how it works. His pull rate is at 52.8%. That's very good. His hard hit rate is at 66.7%. That's incredible. That's the fourth best hard hit rate in the entire MLB over the last 2 weeks. And as I mentioned, he's going up against a very bad pitcher, Chris Flexen of the White Sox. Chris Flexen has given up 7 home runs on the entire season. 4 of those 7 home runs had come to left-handed hitters, which is crazy when you look at the fact that he has literally seen half the amount of left-handed batters than righties, but he's still given up more home runs to lefties in literally half the at-bats. That's just crazy. His home run per 9 against left-handed hitters is 2.51. That's horrendous. That would be worse than the MLB. He allows a horrible fly ball rate of 50% to lefties, a bad enough pull rate of 41.7% to lefties, a 8% higher hard hit rate to lefties. Very confident that Gunnar Henderson is going to be able to mash him for our first play. Next up, we are heading to Colorado to the Phillies versus Rockies game, and I'm taking Bryce Harper to hit a home run plus 320 odds at FanDuel. So this game being played at Coors Field, this is going to be an all-you-can-dong buffet. I know I wanted pieces of this game. I'm going to have 2 Phillies, starting with Bryce Harper. For starters, unsurprisingly, this game being played at Coors Field, one of the best games of the day from a weather perspective, specifically for home runs. Now, Coors is always going to be dong friendly, but for today specifically, winds blowing out of the park, it's already going to have a great carry because it's being played at Coors Field in the high altitude. Just a really good game from a home run perspective. Now, for this play specifically for Bryce Harper, traditionally Bryce Harper is better against right-handed pitching than he is against lefties. I will say that right off the bat. And for tonight, he's going up against a left-handed pitcher in Ty Blach of the Rockies. But Bryce has been hitting lefties pretty well recently, and this Rockies pitcher stinks, and if he gets chased early, the Rockies bullpen also stinks. But to just harp on Bryce for a second, on the entire season, his ISO rate against left-handed pitchers specifically is at 20.6%. That's still within the great category. It's not quite excellent, but that's good enough for us. But if you look recently, he has hit 3 home runs over the last 14 days. 2 of those home runs have come against left-handed pitchers, and in that span, he has an ISO rate against lefties of 29.2%. And if you look at all his other advanced metrics, he's essentially got the same fly ball rate and the same pull rate, whether it's versus righties and lefties. The biggest difference is his hard hit rate is pretty significantly higher against righties than it is against lefties. But as I mentioned, he's been hitting lefties better recently. Now, as for the pitching matchup, as I mentioned, Ty Blach of the Rockies stinks. He admittedly hasn't given up a ton of home runs on the season. I think that's due for some sort of negative regression. If you look at his numbers, it's not as though it's someone that just is incapable of giving up home runs, right? He's allowing a barrel rate of 8.1%, a hard hit rate of 40.5%. Those aren't like the worst numbers in the entire MLB, but they're definitely not good either. He allows specifically the left-handed hitters a fly ball rate and pull rate of about 40%. That's well within our metrics of what we're looking for. So Bryce Harper should be able to dong one. Let's hope he does, cashing this play for us as our second play. Third up, final pick of the video. We're sticking in the Phillies versus Rockies game, as I mentioned. And we're taking Alec Bohm to hit a home run at plus 520 odds at FanDuel. Hopefully Bohm hits a bomb for us. Another Philly here. I will admit, Alec Bohm, a little bit of an unconventional pick from what I normally choose. He doesn't have the traditional power numbers that I look for home runs. So I admit this one is going to take a little bit of a leap of faith. But with that said, if you look into Alec Bohm a little bit, I do think that he's a great play to hit a home run, especially at the plus 520 odds. He's been hitting the ball really, really hard recently. But not only that, he's been hitting the ball hard, and he's been hitting a lot more fly balls recently as well. Yesterday specifically, which I get like a 1-game sample size, you don't want to make too much out of. But yesterday specifically, he had 2 hard hits. Both of those were long flyouts, so the warning track, close to the warning track. But he's now had 5 straight games in which he's had 2 or more hard hits. In 3 of those 5 games, he had a pretty high launch angle as well. And that's the most important thing. Bohm normally hits line drives. Recently, he's been hitting fly balls. That's a good, that bodes well for us. And it makes sense if you look into those, the last 5 games, 3 of the 5, he's got a fly ball rate of 50% and above. And when you're looking at fly ball rate for home run hitters, generally 40% and above is good, 45% and above is great, 50% and above is excellent. So 3 of the last 5 games, he's had a very good fly ball rate for what we're looking for. And despite the fact that he's only hit 1 actual home run in his last 5 games, I do think that some positive regression is coming in the dong department for Alec Bohm. He also has significantly better home run numbers against left-handed pitching than he does against right-handed pitching. And as I mentioned, he's facing a lefty tonight. Literally all 3 of his fly ball rate, pull rate, and hard hit rate are higher against left-handed pitching. And if you look at the last 2 weeks specifically, those numbers look even better. Fly ball rate of 40% against lefties over the last 2 weeks. That's just within the good category of what we look for. An absolutely absurd pull rate of 73.3%. That's crazy. That's an absurd number. Like 3/4 of the time he makes contact, he's pulling it. That bodes well for home runs. And then he's got a hard hit rate of 60%, specifically against lefties as well. Ballpark Pal lists this as a +10 advantage in favor of Alec Boehm, which makes sense when you dig into it. Very confident that he's going to have a good game. And if you want to play it a little bit safer, you're not going to get nearly as good odds, but you can take his total bases over 2.5. That's what the books are pricing his total bases. Normally it's priced at 1.5. He's due for such a good game that they're pricing it at 2.5. So it's just showing you the books think he's likely to have a good game. And again, if you wanted to play it safer for significantly worse odds, you could do that. I'm sticking with the home run, rounding out our third and final pick of the video. And that's all we got. 3 dong predictions for you guys to lock in. If just one of these guys hits a home run, we will be in the green. If we can get all 3, we will be rich. That would be great. So let's hope for that. Remember to like the video. Remember to subscribe. Remember to comment. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.